This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
Welcome to the Barbados City Afternoon Update for Monday, September 28th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Former Prime Minister Owen Arthur tells the island's authorities they must tackle crime head-on. He told the awards ceremony of the Barbados Small Business Association over the weekend that tough economic times are no justification for criminal behavior. He said there are still opportunities in Barbados and acts of crime must be treated as a threat to law and order.
There has been a recent spurt of crime and violent behavior in Barbados. Although the economic times have been tough, they do not serve as a justification for the kind of criminal behavior that is taking place in our nation. Ours is still a society that allows aspiration to be matched to opportunity. Deviant and criminal behavior must therefore be treated as what it is, a threat to law and order, a threat that must be dealt with resolutely in such a capacity.
Meanwhile, prominent attorney Ralph Thorne charges that the Frondel Stewart administration must take responsibility for some of the violence plaguing the country. Speaking on the topic of violence in society today at a BLP branch meeting of the St. George South constituency, Thorne suggested that government's policies are doing more harm than good and the society can't take much more.
At a time when this government is making life hard for young men and young women in this country, that even if this government, through its officials and its officialdom, want to walk around this country trying to persuade parents that their children are naturally inclined to wickedness, let them also tell you what circumstances, what landscape have they prepared for young people in this country, and to ask them the question, are you too demonstrating that you also are a violent government?
Minister of Home Affairs Adriel Brathwaite acknowledges that one-door stores are still operating in Bridgetown, but he assures there is no need for undue alarm. Addressing a service at the James Street Methodist Church to mark the start of Fire Service Week, the minister said fire officers have been inspecting the buildings and most are certified as safe. His assurance came following concerns raised at events marking the 5th anniversary of the Campus Trends tragedy last month.
Just a couple of weeks ago, I think I saw an article that reflected in some ways not on what we have been doing, in particular with respect to the one-door shops in Bridgetown. I've said in the past, and I will say now, that the fact that a shop has one door, it does not make it inherently dangerous. And we have been going from store to store, looking at the length and width and trying to advise owners of the best way that they can protect themselves and the visitors to their stores. We have been doing that in particular over the last couple of years. So I just want to raise that point because from what I read, you would believe that we are not doing anything, and the fact that a store has one door meant that automatically that persons were at risk there continuously. So I want to recognize the work being undertaken by the men and women of the Barbados Life Station on service on a continuous basis in that regard, ensuring that persons can go about their businesses in Bridgetown in particular in a safe environment.
Today starts big celebrations for the Lodge School. The school, which opened its doors in 1745, is commemorating its 270th anniversary. Principal, Vasco Dash, staff and 1,100 students on roll kicked off a week of activities at the St. John's Parish Church this morning. Canon Henderson Guy urged the staff and students to reflect on the meaning of the school's historic achievement.
What does all this really mean to us? If we remember, we must have some idea about our past. Among many things, as the principal mentioned, it means that we've had a mixed fortune. So mixed fortunes are not new to any one of us at all. But it tells every one of us that we are very resilient in people. Indeed, we always bounce back. We're almost like pussycats. You throw them, and however they land, they tend to land on their feet. Sooner or later, we tend to recapture what we call the glory days if we want to become nostalgic. And I hope I may at this time. Any anniversary will always be a great opportunity indeed. A good one in a life to renew, to rebuild, to recapture, to revive, and even to repent of our many sins indeed.
The principal says efforts are continuing to improve the school's environs, and he revealed that government is preparing to construct a new school hall.
The government has spent more than 30 million so far, and for the first time in over 30 years, we will soon have a hall which can house our student body and our staff complement. I want to appeal to all students not to vandalize this brand new plant, the excellent facilities which we now have. And I want to appeal to those parents who are here, to appeal to your charges, and to appeal to other parents who you meet at PTA meetings or wherever you meet them, ask their children not to deface the school.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To our regional neighbors, the presidents of Guyana and Venezuela attempt to make a fresh start to settle their long-standing bitter border dispute. In a deal brokered by United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro agreed to accredit Cheryl Miles as Guyana's ambassador to Caracas, while Venezuela will send back its ambassador, Rina Diaz, to Georgetown. After shaking hands at the request of the UN chief, the trio met for about an hour, during which Guyana pressed its case for the border controversy to be taken to the International Court of Justice for a lasting settlement. But no decision was taken on the matter. President Granger says Ban Ki-moon indicated that he would await an assessment from a UN team that is expected to visit Venezuela on a fact-finding mission. Speaking in Barbados this morning, Guyana's Attorney General Basil Williams insisted that the International Court of Justice is the best body to settle the matter.
They were the good officers. That mediation using good officers had been in vogue for several years. Mr. McIntyre died, and we haven't had that. So to resort again, those good officers' approaches have not really borne fruit through the years, and we believe that a final settlement should be basically the opinion of the International Court of Justice on this matter. We believe that the law, international law of the sea, the international law period, support Guyana's case.
On the international front, a woman at the center of a gruesome child abuse ring which used children as a sexual plaything has been jailed for a minimum of 24 years. 34-year-old Marie Black of Norwich was convicted at a Norwich Crown Court on 23 charges, including rape and inciting a child to engage in a sexual activity. The abuse, which is said to have happened in and around Norwich and London, including forcing the children to have sex with one another. On some occasions, the adults threw parties and played card games to decide who would abuse which child. The judge described the case as harrowing. He said that Black's treatment of the children who she subjected to sexual abuse was the worst kind and was utterly depraved. And that's our afternoon update. But for more news and sports, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.tv, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Be sure to join us again this evening.